in your inbox right now, waiting for you to follow up about your offer. Today, we're answering the question, what do I do to increase my sales after I pitch my offer? So we're going to talk about hit them again and again, as in follow up with more emails about your offer. This is from this week's blog. There is money in your email. And if you want to follow along, you can go to shaycannon.com/email. Good morning, Chantilly. That's shaycannon.com/email. All right. Now, this concept of what we're talking about this week comes from the thing that how we should be looking at our email list, right? So we should be looking at our email list as like an ATM, as like an opportunity to just print money from our business. But you have to have things set up right for your email so that your list is actually, I'm going to say, the kind of value that brings you money. Okay. So the first thing that we talked about in part one, sorry, my lips are shiny. All right. The first thing that we talked about in part one was what happens after they sign up for that lead magnet, right? You need to take that cold lead and you need to warm them up with the 4 email sequence or some type of email sequence instead of just dumping them on your main list with everybody else to get the same emails as everybody else, because they don't know you like that. Okay, so we want to put a sequence in place. We even gave you, okay, the strategies for creating that secret. So if you need that, go back to part one. All right. Then after that, in part two on Tuesday, we talked about, hey, they're on the list. You did a little welcome sequence now on the main list. What should you be doing with everybody on the main list? You should be nurturing them. In fact, I said be nurturing AF, because you should consistently be nurturing. So we talked about the importance of that, and I gave you strategies on how to do that, and even some templates, okay, that you can use with subject lines. Okay, so go back to part two if you need all that information. Part three was yesterday, and we talked about, now that you're being consistent, you warm those cold leads up, you're being consistent with your nurturing. The next thing we can start doing is filtering in and getting some kind of micro commitments. Now, we might not start right off selling our main offer, okay? But you know what we can sell them? Some tiny offers, some affordable, micro transformational type of offers. So we talked about that yesterday, which is part three. We even gave you some prompts, some ChatGPT prompts. You'll be getting those all week. So if you need that information about tiny offers to get micro commitments, go back to part three. That was yesterday. Today, we're finishing this series, okay? Because you've warmed up your cold leads that came in on a lead magnet or however they got on your list, okay? Then we are nurturing them consistently. Then we are giving them tiny offers. Now, let's talk about how do we get them to buy the tiny offers or any offer, okay, once they're on our list? And that is hit them again and again. All right, so let's get into it. Selling through your email list isn't about dropping one offer and hoping it sticks. It's about guiding your subscribers through a journey that helps them make a confident decision. A single email might catch their attention, but it rarely converts into a sale. A thoughtfully planned sequence, however, builds context, deepens desire, and addresses the quiet objections that stand between curiosity and commitment. This approach respects how people actually buy, which is through trust, repetition, and emotional readiness. So when a business takes the time to lead a subscriber step by step toward understanding the value of an offer, it push into a conversation. That's how email marketing shifts from feeling transactional to becoming transformational, creating consistent conversions instead of random results. Okay, so that's what the blog says, which was great. It's a lot of great information, but here on the morning show, I give you more. So I do have some great strategies for you. Now, these strategies follow an email sequence, kind of like we did on Monday as that welcome sequence. This is going to be your offer follow-up sequence, okay? So I'm going to do like I did last time, because it's kind of a lot to take in for me to just kind of read it out to you. So I'm going to share my screen on the actual show notes so you can read along. Okay. So these are effective strategies for following up your offer email for higher conversions and increased sales. Okay. So we're going to do, it can be 5 to 7 days. I'm going to do a 5-day sequence. Okay. So day one, we're going to talk now. Keep in mind, let me stop right here because I don't want to confuse you. They've already gotten an email where you told them about the offer and you've asked them to buy. Okay. So this is going to be day one after that. Okay. So we're going to do a problem awareness email and make them feel the cost of staying stuck. Okay. So we're going to do that with such strategies as mirror their frustration in real time. We're going to show the emotional fallout, not just the consequence. This has business consequence, but it could be personal consequence, health consequence, lifestyle consequence, whatever it is that you sell. Okay. And get into this pleasure. Then we can do the name, the unspoken truth. Say that thing that secretly believe, but have never admitted. There's a saying going around right now that
Did she freeze for you all?
as to
Oh, I guess she did. We can't hear you, friend. You're on mute.
it was all right. I was talking to myself anyway. Let me see. Let me see what Wi-Fi I'm on. Okay, give me 1 second. It might go back to out. Let me see if I can change to a stronger Wi-Fi because that was bonkers. Okay, we are on a stronger Wi-Fi now. Don't be laughing, Kimberly. You're supposed to be driving. All right, so the last one for this day one email was the why now emotional. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen, am I? Let me share my screen again. All right. All right, we should be set up. Okay, the why now emotional trigger, where we can attach a current struggle to how time is slipping by or whatever kind of emotional trigger we can put there to help them to understand, hey, let's get out of this pain now. Like, why are you waiting? Okay, now day two, we're going to come in with a solution overview. We're going to position ourselves as the calm in their chaos. Okay, so the first strategy you can use for this email is tell an origin story for the offer. Who is somebody that started off in pain and this offer came around and changed that? Okay. Number two, you can use the exhale effect. Present the offer as a relief. Okay. Because a lot of people don't buy because they see them spending their money as a risk. Are they actually going to get what they're trying to pay for? So let's relieve that with an exhale effect where we're going to write like a deep breath, okay? To help them come out of the overwhelm and feeling like it's a risk. We're going to put them at ease, all right? The third strategy for this second day email is we're going to connect the dots between chaos and clarity, okay? What we know about being in chaos is a lot of things are not clear to you when you're in chaos. That's kind of when you imagine chaos, you imagine a mess. You imagine things being in disarray. And what cleans that up is clarity. So that's what we want to do. We want to put some aspects of clarity and show them the difference between the chaos they're in and the clarity they could have. All right. Number 4, use emotional association, not logic. People are emotional buyers. Okay. So tie your offer to feelings they crave: peace, freedom, validation. Okay. Not like task or a list or, trying to make sense. No, tie it to how they're feeling about things and how they want to feel. And the fifth strategy for this email is going to be turn the offer into an invitation. Okay. It's a conversation. And so instead of saying things like, hey, here the offer, get out of pain, you want to say, I invite you to get out of pain. I want to have a conversation with you. I want to position you to be out of pain. I want you to come walk with me to a better reality, right? So invitation. All right. Day 3, I'm sorry. Social proof. Social proof. We're going to build trust through transformation, not testimony. Okay. Transformation. I want y'all to, before we get into these, I want you guys to understand that testimonials are awesome, but I need y'all to get the right kind of testimonials, right? So think about when you guys try to give me great testimonies. A lot of you talk about me. Oh, Shay is a great person. Shay is a great teacher. Shay, but it's not about me. So what do I always do? I redirect you to get, right? Because those are the testimonies that are the social proof that will work. People bigging you up is not going to do nothing. Okay, that's not enough. They want to know, yeah, you're a great person, but that don't mean I want to give you my money. Will I give you my money and get the transformation that I'm looking to get? So your testimonies should talk about the transformation. Now, you can add in there how you're a great person that got them to the transformation, but we cannot leave out the star of a testimony, which is transformation. Okay, just wanted to give you that. All right. So number one in this day 3, we're going to tell before they believed type stories. So share client stories that show doubt at first, not blind confidence. See, that's why we don't want people to be like, oh, you're a great person, I'm just going to give you my money. No, we don't want them to have blind confidence or be like a blind follower. Readers trust results. Okay, that's what's going to help break through them being skeptical. Okay, number 2 strategy for this day 3 email is use emotional proof, not just data. So quote the feelings clients have had after a success in working with you. Did they feel more confident? Did they feel relief? Did they feel pride? What feelings did they feel, right? One of the things I like to say is, clients that work with me often feel, and I go into, they no longer feel the burden of singular leadership, right? And they no longer feel like they're in it alone. So I say things like that. And those are the types of reliefs that my clients for that certain service, they want to feel. So are the emotions that people want to feel as proof that the transformation has happened? Okay. Number 3, highlight imperfect heroes. Feature clients who struggled or delayed action before saying yes. It normalizes hesitation and creates permission to buy. I love messing with Shawana Kennedy Media, because when I first started working with her, she fought me on everything, right? So I do this because of this, and I do this because of this. And we often had to have conversations about, but is it working? Right? Or try it this way. Just try it for this amount of time and come back and tell me, right? So you do want to have those stories of people who weren't just gun-ho running in blindly to work with you and give you their money, because most people are not going to be like that. So they had some doubt in working with you, but they did it anyway, and then they got results. That is huge with social proof. All right. The next one is going to include a silent win story. So share a testimony that wasn't flashy, maybe quiet success that feels attainable. Realistic wins convert best. Now, what this is really saying is the huge transformation is awesome. It really is, like the thing they're actually paying for. But what we understand is there are milestones and small wins all along the way. Talk about those too. Okay, talk about those too. So-and-so started working with me, and within the first month of us working together, they started to feel this, they got this in return on, and we still have more work to do to get them this, right? But they're having wins all along. That makes people feel like when I give you my money, I don't have to wait for 6 months to finally get to this transformation. Okay, so think about that. All right. Number 5 is turn testimonials into mirrors. So frame stories so readers subconsciously think, that's me. Okay. They replace the name and the titles of you talking about the actual client that you have or the archetype that they represent. And they say, that's me. I'm the multitask mom, or I'm the overworked creative, or I'm the business that has yet to reach 6 figures and I'm struggling. Okay. So give them that testimonial that they see themselves in, and it's very resonant to them. It resonates with them. All right. Cool. Day 4, objection handling. Okay. We want to turn doubt into decisive action. Now, a lot of people, when they're selling stuff, they just hope people don't have objections. So they try to ignore what kind of questions people would have, what would give somebody pause or hesitation in buying. I want you to understand you need to take that stuff head on. Okay, because you may not get another opportunity to help them through that objection to buy. So this day 4, that's what this is all about. So number 1 strategy, I get it. It's an empathy type of strategy. So start by validating their hesitation. People drop their defenses when they feel understood rather than feeling cornered. Like, you ain't nothing if you don't do this. That don't work as well as, hey, I get it. I understand that you feel this way. I understand that it feels like a risk because of this, da da da. But then you overcome that. Show them why those things are not true. All right. Number 2, reframe cost as commitment. Even investment, that's another mint that you can reframe it as. But let's stay with commitment. So show that paying isn't losing money, it's reallocating resources toward results. Investment, okay? Investment reframes are powerful psychological anchors. All right. So instead of saying the price is, what I charge is, the fee is, it's your investment is. Okay. The price is, no, your investment is. So reframe it, because when we look at it as an investment, we automatically think of return on investment. So it doesn't feel like a loss. Okay. It feels like me doing my part to get what I want. So investment. All right. Number 3, flip fear into focus. Expose what fear really is protecting. Is it protecting control, pride, perfection? Then show how your offer satisfies that need safely, okay? Show them how they're not going to lose control. Show them how they will be able to be proud of this decision on down the line. Show them how, they don't have to be perfect to come in and this work for them. So show them how all of these things they fear is going to be a negative, how you're going to help them for those not to be a negative result, okay? Let's see. Number 4, reveal the hidden cost of waiting. Quietly calculate what inaction costs them emotionally and financially over time. People fear loss more than effort. Number 5, use a same me, different decision story. So all that is share your own turning point where you made the uncomfortable choice to invest in something. Okay. If it's not the very same thing as your offer, give them an example of something that you've done. Relatability turns persuasion into proof. Now, if you don't have a story like this, then one of your clients probably has a story like this. Use a client story, okay? You had a client that was scared to invest. They felt like they didn't have the money. They felt like they didn't have the time, whatever it was, but they took a chance. And then this is what happened for them. All right, cool. Day 5, again, this can be a 5 to 7 day sequence. I like 5 days, so I'm only doing your 5 days, okay? So this is the urgency plus bonus offers. This is supposed to be the email that really pushes them over the edge to make a decision now or sooner rather than later, okay? So move from hesitation to momentum. The first strategy, use emotional urgency. Not necessarily scarcity by itself, but emotional urgency. So make the urgency about missing the transformation, not about missing a discount. Okay. The FOMO will fade, but emotional momentum lasts longer. All right. So don't say, don't leave it as the focus being, this bonus disappears, or get it now while you get this bonus. That's true. Add that in there, but focus on they're going to miss out on this transformation. Y'all know my favorite phrase. My favorite phrase is, you could be in a totally different place by this time next year. I love that one. That makes people stop every time. You want to know why? Because for years they've been in the same position and haven't done anything about it but complain. Okay, so that's that emotional urgency. You don't want to still be complaining about this same thing next year. You don't want to still be feeling like this in your own body and your health next year. Okay, so that's an example of emotional urgency. Number 2, remind them who they said they wanted to be. Okay, sometimes people, they forget that you're not just trying to get them to buy something. Most of us are not salespeople. Okay, that's not what we are. What we're doing is giving someone an opportunity to have a totally different life, a totally different business, a totally different body, whatever you sell. This is an opportunity. So remind them that they wanted the end result of the opportunity we're giving them. So loop back to their day one identity crisis. Tie action now to the version of themselves that they want to become. All right. Number 3, show the ripple effect. So describe how saying yes impacts not just them, but maybe their family, maybe their teams, maybe their clients, maybe their peace of mind or their mental health, maybe their lifestyle. Okay. All of that kind of stuff. Tie it to not only do you get this transformation, but this transformation means something for something else that are all good things. Okay. Number 4, create a "you've come too far" message. So acknowledge that they've followed this far for a reason. Okay, because usually people that are on your email list, they got on there for a reason. They want something that you have been very aligned in talking about. This is why you can't be jumping around with all these different types of offers. They got on your list in a lead magnet that makes sense for your offer. Okay. You've been nurturing around the transformation and the pain points that are associated with your offer. You had a tiny offer that is also aligned with your offer. And then this main offer, all that stuff is aligned. And so they had to go with you on a journey of through all of that to get here, to get this transformation. Remind them that they have invested time in getting here to be pitched this offer. So acknowledge that. All right. Number 5, give a chance to lead yourself. Last chance to lead yourself. Okay. So position the close as a decision about self-leadership, not sales pressure. Now, I say self-leadership because they're kind of taking the lead. We're kind of making them the hero, right? They're taking the lead to do what they got to do to have what they want to have. Okay, so I like self-leadership, but if that concept, you're like, I'm not sure what you mean by that, then just understand that you're giving them the power. You're empowering them, and you're telling them, hey, this is your chance to be your own hero. I am not the hero. You are. You can finally do what you need to do to have what you want to have. Okay. So are you ready to back yourself today? Are you ready to keep the promise you made to yourself? I like that one. I say that a lot. So empowerment sells more powerfully than discounts, and it sells more powerfully than you saying you're the hero. Okay. Let them be the hero. All right, we do have a ChatGPT prompt where you're gonna put all of this template stuff in there after you train it about who you are with your clarity statement, who your client is, what offer you're pitching, okay, and that these emails are going to follow up. And you tell it, I needed to write a 5-day email sequence, and then you're going to put this in there and let it, with your details, come out with some good stuff. And y'all know that y'all have been telling me that these prompts have been fire, so here's another fire one, okay? Now, I do want to share something else with y'all. I put a link in the at the bottom of the show notes to this blog post. Okay, this is how small businesses can win back past clients. Why did I put this in here? Because you need to know that after you pitch your offer and they didn't buy, and after you go through this follow-up series of 5 days and they still didn't buy, what do you do next? You still don't let go. So if you go back to the week that we talked about, win back past clients or win back the sale, whatever, these are a whole bunch of strategies that after you've gone through this follow-up sequence, you can go back and still do different things to get the sale. Okay, so I don't want you to feel like, oh, I pitched it one time, they didn't buy. I did these 5 days, they didn't buy. What else can I do? Well, we got you because we talked about it 1 week. Okay, so it's in the show notes right here where you can click and go straight to that. Now, here is our question of the day. Let me grab it. Let me stop sharing for a moment so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we're going to drop this question in the studio. I'm going to go over here with Chantilly. We're going to drop the question on YouTube. Cool beans. Question of the day is, do you see why they say the fortune is in the follow-up? Okay, we can't just put that offer out there one time. I know it was hard for you to do it because I know that we're not salespeople and it's hard for us to just ask for the sale. And you got nerve to want me to keep talking about this offer? Yes, because the fortune is in the follow-up. So I want to know, do you see the value in that? And which email from the 5-day sequence do you think will be the deciding factor for your people? Okay, which one of them emails from the 5 days do you feel like your people gonna buy when they see that email? I want to know that. Okay, and we're gonna start with Dr. LaFera. But first, I'm gonna give you a recap on the 5-day strategy. I'm going to share my screen again because I'm only going to give you the strategy that we're using and not all the ways to use it. So let me share my screen again. All right. So day 1 is going to be, and keep in mind again that all of these emails, this 5 email sequence happens after the email where you pitch the offer. Okay. So you've already asked them about the offer. You've already explained the offer in an email. This is going to be the 5-day series that happens after that. Day 1 is going to be problem awareness. Make them feel the cost of staying stuck. Okay. We want them to make a decision to come out of pain now rather than later. Okay. Day 2. We want to give them the solution overview. We want to position ourselves as the calm to their chaos. Okay. And so you got strategies for the day 2. Day 3, we want social proof. We want to build trust through transformation, not just testimony. And we talked about what kind of testimonies y'all should be getting. Don't get the ones that just make you feel good about yourself. Get the ones that's going to help somebody make a buying decision. All right. Day 4, objection handling. Okay. Turn doubt into decisive action. We want a yes or a no. Like when you get to this email on day 4, I want to know, are you going to buy this? Are you not going to buy this? Right. So we want a yes, but we accept no's. No means no around here. So we want a yes, but a no will do. But this is decision day. So all these things that you think are in your way, I want to go ahead and dispel all of that on day 4. Okay. And then day 5 is going to be, hey, this your last chance. Like, I'm not going to keep talking about this with you, and you're not going to keep getting these bonuses. And guess what? If you could be in the same place next year or you can be in a different place, it's up to you. Okay. So that's what we're doing on day 5. All right. So let's go to Dr. LaFera. Dr. LaFera, do you see why they say the fortune is in the follow-up? And which one of the emails from the 5-day series do you think is going to be the one that takes your people over the edge to actually buy?
I do see why the fortune is in the follow-up, because especially with the health thing, I don't get a lot of people I get a lot of people to raise their hand and say they're ready, but they're really not. They're, they say it. So I send them stuff and I end up like wondering why they don't buy it. So it's like, yeah, I have to dive deeper into like continuing to communicate with them. And out of what you suggested, I probably wouldn't be able to convince them. You said the biggest one until maybe like day 4 or 5, and that's because they see the transformation in me. So getting more into like the psychographics and stuff like that, like for the pain and them where they showing them where they could be in a few years or in a week or something like that, and showing them how somebody else that I helped did and was there in like less than a week. Like that would be what made them purchase, if if they were gonna purchase, if they weren't just there because they were curious. So
yeah. So I feel like that when, during that time that you're revving up to pitch, I think you do a lot of that look at my life stuff, right? So I think that by the time we're hitting these follow-up emails, you need to really be knocking sense. You need to be knocking them across their head. Right. So you need to be saying, hey, your investment in this, I'm saying that one where it's like what it's costing you not to get stuck, the very first one, go on, knock them across the head. Do you want to keep paying co-pays? Because you're going to pay either way. Either you're going to pay me to help you get you on the right track, or you're going to keep paying because you're on the wrong track. So you want to keep paying co-pays. You want to pay for x-rays. You want to pay for sonograms. You want to pay for this blood test. You see what I'm saying? You want to pay for this hospital deductible. You know what I'm saying? Like really hit them hard with, so that they can really compare and contrast your offers investment amount and how much over here. Because we understand the stories these days about how often you have to go to the doctor and how many years before you actually get a right diagnosis. When if you just treat your body right, you would need a diagnosis, right? So I feel like you have the opportunity to really go into that and hit them hard, because when you start talking about that, then they're going to hear you in their head the next time they feeling bad and got to go to the doctor. The
For
next time they got
financial
to take
costs
off
and
work.
emotional costs and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. You taking off work for sick days when you get one PTO pool, you could have been on vacation. Like, yeah, let them know all the costs they have to pay.
Yeah. I
Please.
feel like those would go like these would probably go better, like you said, in an email versus like on a social media post. Cause like now I can really get in there, like you said.
Well, you could do a social media post too, right? I heard y'all got one PTO pool for your sick and your vacation, but you be feeling so bad that you go to the doctor more than you go to the beach.
You know what? Like
Let's
I
have a
need to talk to
conversation.
some people with those types of things and benefits. Cause
Yeah,
that's funny.
I'm
Okay.
just saying. I mean, think about what y'all say about me. When y'all start doing stuff in your business, what do you tell me all the time? I heard you in my head. Yeah, that's because I don't sugarcoat it. Everything is not about sugarcoating. When it's time to make a decision, let's take the sugar off. I'd rather you get a transformation than get diabetes. So let's go. Right?
Yep.
Cool beans. All right,
Thank you.
let's go. You're welcome. Let's go to Dr. Tachi. Dr. Tachi, do you see why they say the fortune is in the follow-up? And which one of the emails from the 5-day sequence do you really think is going to help your people make the decision to buy?
Yes, I do. And so I kind of came in, in the middle of it. So I don't think I have everything properly. However, I like the reframe the cost as the commitment. I don't know if that was an email or part of something. Was that an actual email?
It don't matter. It would all of
Oh, okay.
those would be in still one email category, one day. So yeah, the day with
Oh,
that
okay.
in it. Yeah, I got you. I heard you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. That reframe is, baby, it's powerful. It's powerful. I like that for you. All right, let's go to Dr. Latoya Davis. Dr. Davis, Dr. Latoya. All right, do you see that the fortune really is in the follow-up? And which email from the 5-day sequence do you feel like is going to be really game-changing and converting them into a sale?
Yes, definitely see the fortune in the follow-up. And I think the cost of delay is really good. I like that line that you use of where you could be in a year.
Mm-hmm. This
Um,
time next year?
yeah, this time next year. I think that painting that picture for people, and I don't even have to go out a year, right? But painting that like time lapse for people, I think would be really,
Yes.
really game changing.
I love that. I love that. And another way that we can look at time lapse, Dr. Latoya, is framing your solution and your offer as collapsing the time they have to wait to even get to a solution. Like, yeah, you might have tried this and you might have tried that and you might have tried that. But what I have to offer will actually help you to collapse the time between where you are right now and where you want to be. Right? That's the difference in investing and getting return on investment. So yeah, I like that for you. Kimberly, we don't know what you're doing. Is you driving? You coming off the mic? You using the chat? We don't even know. So Heather had to leave, but she said she has to employ the entire 5 to 7 day sequence. So she don't, she like all of them is gonna work for her people. She does understand the value of the follow-up. Let me come over here and check on Chantilly. Okay, Chantilly has not answered the question over there. Chantilly, why you ain't answered the question, girl? All right, so this week, okay, this week is one of those gap weeks, right? We filled a huge gap in the resource that is going to be a part of the legacy we leave with this morning show when the morning show stops the week before Thanksgiving. You know, we always talk about, you need to be emailing your list. You need to have lead magnets. And you need to let your list know about your offers. You need to sell to your list. This week, we really talked about how are we going to do that? How do we really need to be doing on our end to be able to expect that list to print us money? So I want to know, we went through when they get on your list, whether it's through a lead magnet or whatever, you now know how to warm them up in a 4 email welcome sequence. You now know how to nurture every day or more consistently. We know how to do tiny offers before we do the main offer, so we can get some kind of small commitment before we ask them to make a large commitment. And now we know how to follow up any offer we put out there so that we printing money through this email. So does anybody have any questions? Do you have any value adds or any aha moments? Dr. LaToya.
Uh-oh, am I off? Did I do something?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to be off mic. That's just ignore
Well,
me.
too late. So what would you like? Look, you got a question, you got a value add, you got an aha moment, something you want to say about this week of, really taking this email list and helping it to be an ATM for your business.
Well, I will say that again, this is just right on time. Yesterday, I mapped out not only my email nurture sequence for my lead magnet, but I also went back and updated my. I don't know if it would still be called the nurture sequence. I think so, because a lot of people who come to me to book a session don't know me, like they just find me out in the world. And then that session that we do is kind of our first point of interaction. So yesterday I also built out kind of a sequence that follows that introduces them, and then that leads kind of to a bigger offer. So I was really happy about that. And like, why didn't I ever do that before? So yeah, I think in general, this topic this week has just really got me thinking about what my client journey is from the email standpoint.
Definitely. I love that. I love how you were able to take it and actually use it in other places that is also going to be pivotal for touch points and for like, know, and trust and conversion. It's going to make you have higher conversion rates, no doubt. All right, let's go to Dr. LaFera.
So I do have a question, but I did use I mentioned this Monday. No, Tuesday, I think. I mentioned that I used what you've been showing us to create like the emails for the lead magnet that I did when I did my news appearance. And it was really helpful because like I didn't have a lot of time, but it was really good, and I felt like it was really thorough and convincing people why they got on the list and got the lead magnet and how to use it, all that stuff. And what you did Monday was like a really good kind of checklist for what you need to have in that first email. And I really appreciated that. So the question that I was thinking about is like, for me, how would I like alternate doing this lead magnet? Like how would I think about doing like, sending them, if I'm on social media, to that nurture sequence, like get the lead magnet, versus if I'm doing an offer, that has a similar transformation, like how do you like do your cadence? Do you wait until you're doing a launch and only send them to like the offer thing, or do you like kind of throw it in there sometimes?
So this question is why we're revisiting the Foo Fighters, right? Because the answer to your question is you can't treat everybody the same. So a person getting a lead magnet is most likely tofu, top of funnel.
Yeah.
A person getting your offer is probably second degree mofu, or if they're getting it again, they're bofu. So they're in two different places in your lead journey. So the person who doesn't know you that has that's downloading a lead magnet, they might know about your offer, hear about your offer, you know what I'm saying, and then got the lead magnet, but they're not going to buy your offer. So the promo and the follow up to the promo really ain't got nothing to do with them. They don't like, know, and trust you enough to buy anything from you right now, right? Which is why, as a part of that 4 email sequence, after they get the lead magnet, we put a tiny offer at the end. Like they might, after we nurture you and that you see that lead magnet was good, you might be willing to make a micro commitment. Maybe not a big commitment, right? But maybe a little one.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing for them. So we treat them differently than we're treating a person that maybe the way that you got on my list is you came to a virtual summit, right? Or some type of conference that I'm hosting. And so I've spent some time with you. I've spent hours with you live, or I spent days with you live. So you might not have known me when you signed up for this event, but once you leave this event, you should have some like, know, and trust in me. So that when I pitch at the end, right, you can at least have a little more like, know, and trust to be great for that offer that I have at the end. But if not, then that sequence from today, that following up could be warming you up even more so that you buy at the end, or that's when you go to the win back series.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's one thing I think I can say to you, Dr. LaFerre, and I think that you would understand it. And that is when people come on my email list from a lead magnet, okay? I do not dump them on my main list. If you got my lead magnet until you finish that welcome series, you don't know what everybody on my list is getting. Okay? Because it does nothing for you to get the lead magnet and the next day I'm asking you to come to a $4,500 retreat.
That is
You see what I'm
correct.
saying?
Yes, I do see
So-
what you're saying. And yeah.
So you have them be on that list. You have them go through the welcome, the 4 emails for the welcome. And then at the end of that list, you have them take off that list and put into the main list. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Or off this tag and add this tag.
Yep. Yep. I'm working through that type of stuff right now.
Yeah. So that takes me back to the other, let me share my screen again so y'all can see. The other resources I gave y'all from the past blogs at the top. Okay. So we're talking about why you should be nurturing them in the mofo, but we also talk about how to re-engage your list if you haven't talked to them for a long time, like they're on there, you used to talk to them, now you ain't talked to them in a long time. That would be me. I raise my hand for that. But also segmenting your list. Okay. You need to know who is what, who is tofu, who is mofu, who is bofu. How have you segmented them?
Yeah.
Because you should not be talking to everybody the same. They're in different parts of the journey. And then we talked about how to score leads, right? Who is ready to actually be pitched for an offer? And then, you got some more content stuff for nurturing right there. But yeah, this is why I'm giving you all of this stuff and wrapping it up in a bow with this last thing of understanding, how to really make that email list print your money.
Yeah, and I appreciate that because I do need to go back to that document you just showed because like I need to start doing more scoring and segmenting. Yes. And I know that would really help too.
And that's why I love Go High Level, y'all. That's why all of my carts now have the 2-part form where it gets your contact stuff and then it asks you for your payment stuff, because now that primes me to start with my abandoned cart stuff. Right? Because you can't do abandoned cart if it takes you, filling out a full cart and buying for you to get on a list, because now you don't know who filled everything out but didn't buy. So when you split that cart form up and they add that information, that creates a contact, right? And so whether they go to the next part and complete or not, they completed the contact stuff. So now the system knows, hey, we got the contact information, but they didn't buy. So now we need an abandoned cart sequence for them. So that's a part of that win back. Cool beans. Anybody else with any questions, value adds, or aha moments about this week? Because I feel like if you employ these things, there's no way you wouldn't be increasing your revenue sum. Now, I'm not guaranteeing you that doing this one thing is going to jump you to 6 figures, but I'm going to tell you, employing all of these things and putting all of these pieces together for your business as a foundation, there's no way you will not make more money. There's no way that your business will not grow. Okay? All right. Cool beans. Well, let's go into what is happening this week. So tomorrow is our Get Shit Done work session, usually for our paid membership only. But, twice a month, we allow the free business mastermind group to come in on the second half of that event. So join us on tomorrow. It is going to be from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Free group can come in at 3 p.m. All right. On Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we start the 14-day Goals Momentum Sprint for this month, October. This event is pivotal pivot, what is the word? It's highly game changing for our members that have goals and want to grow their business and want to move things forward in their personal life and things like that. There's been a lot of success with the members that actually join us. If you're not a paid member, you want to join, shaycannon.com/membership. All right. Also, I'm asking you, save the date, Saturday, October the 25th. From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time, we're having our fall boot camp intensive. It is the Foo Fighters 2.0, marketing to fund your freedom. We're talking about putting all these pieces together so that we can start having some automated parts and some other parts where we're connecting them up to make this workflow that's going to make us money. Okay, great. I plan on having that link out to y'all by next week. So this week, save the date. All right. Cool. This has been the Her First Six Figures Morning Show, which is an interactive coaching and training experience that is a part of our free business mastermind group that positions Black and brown female online service-based entrepreneurs to generate your first six figures by learning how to make the money and create time freedom. Find out more about me, your host, Shay Cannon, plus get links to resources like how to join that free business mastermind group, and how to get these show notes with all of these strategies and chat GPT prompts and things in it from today and recent past shows. Go in the description below, okay? If you have not already, you know you got good value. You got value this week that can help you make more money. So pay me back. Give me my money. No, I'm just playing. I don't need money. I need you to like this episode. Give me a thumbs up, okay? Also, subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you don't miss a thing on how to grow your business and keep making this money. And that, I just want you to know, this has been a good week. But today's episode, 1 out of 4. It's a 4-video series. So make sure you check out the other videos. And with that, the studio is closing. And so I want you to have a great day. I want you to have a great weekend. And we'll see you on the, Monday? Cool. Studio's closing in 5, 4, 3,